Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm continuing on The Power of Now, a guide to spiritual alignment, a guide to manifest, to get rid of the ego and open up possibilities to love and things in the future, helping me spiritually grow and get rid of negative emotions and understand the meaning of true happiness in life. Now I'm going to read chapter 7, which is The Portals into the Unmanifested. Going deeply into the body, I could feel the energy inside my body, especially in my arms and legs, but I don't seem to able to get to go more deeply, as you suggested earlier. Like it into meditation, it needed to take long, 10 to 15 minutes of clock time should be sufficient. Make sure that first there are no external distractions such as telephones or people who are likely to interrupt you. Sit on a chair, but don't leak back. Keep the spine erect. Doing it will help you stay alert. Alternatively, choose your own favorite position for meditation. Make sure the body is relaxed. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Feel yourself breathing into the lower abdomen, as it were. Observe observe how it expands and contracts slightly with an in-out breath. Then become aware of the entire inner energy field of the body. Don't think about it, feel it. By doing this, you reclaim consciousness from the mind. If you find it helpful, use the light visualization I described earlier. When you can feel the inner body clearing as the single field of energy, let go, if possible, of any visual image and focus exclusively of the feeling. If you can go, also drop into mental image. You could still have a physical body. All that is left is encompassing sense of presence or beingness. An inner body is felt to be without a boundary. Then take into attention even more felt deeply that you're feeling. Become one with it, merge into the energy field so that there is no longer a perceived duality of the observer and observed of you and your body.
Do you want some music?
The distinction between inner and outer dissolves now, so there is no inner body anymore. By going deeply into the body, you have transcended the body. Stay into this realm of pure being for as long as it feels comfortable. Then become aware again of the physical body, your breathing, and physical senses. And open your eyes, look at your surrounding for a few minutes in a meditative way. That is, without labeling them mentally, and continue to feel the inner body as you do so.
Having access to the formless realm is truly liberty. It frees you from bondage, from the identifications with form. I think it's too loud. It is life in its undifferentiated states prior to the fragmentations into multiple cities. We may call the unmanifested uh, we may call it the unmanifested, the invisible sources of things, that beings within all beings. It is a realm of deep stillnesses and peace, but also of joys and intense lightness. Whether you are present, you become transparent. To some extended to the lights, the pure consciousness that emanates from their source. You also realize that the light is not separated from who you are, but constitutes with your very essence. The source of chi is the unmanifested. What is the east of called chi? A kind of universal light energy? No, it isn't. The unmanifested of source is of chi. Chi is the inner energy field of your body. It is the bridge between the outer you and the sources. It lies halfway between the manifested, the world of forms, and the unmanifested. Chi can be likened to a river or energy stream. If you take the focus of your consciousness deeply into the inner body, you are tracing the course of the river back to its source. Chi is movement. The unmanifested is stillness. When you reach a point of absolute stillness, which is nevertheless vibrant with life, you have done beyond an inner body or beyond chi to source itself. The unmanifested, the unmanifested. Chi is the link between the unmanifested and the physical universe. So, if you take your attentions deeply into the inner body, you may reach this point. This singularities where the world dissolves into unmanifested and the unmanifested takes on forms as the energy streams of chi, which then becomes the role. This is the point of birth and death. When your consciousness is directed outward, mind and world arise. When it is directed inward, it realizes its source and returns home to the unmanifested. Then, when your consciousness becomes back to the manifested world, you resume the form's entity that you temporarily relinquished it. You have a name, a past, a life situations, a future. But in one essential respect, you are not the same persons when you were before. You will be glimpse a reality within yourself that is not of this world, although it isn't separated from it, just as it isn't separated from you. Now let your spiritual practice be this. As you go about your life, don't give 100% of your attentions to the external world to your mind. Keep some within. I have spoken about this already. Feel the inner body even when engaged in everyday activities, especially when engaged with relationships or when you are relating with nature. Feel the stillnesses deep inside it. Keep the portal open. It is quite possible to be conscious of the unmanifested through your life. You feel it is deep sense of peace somewhere in the background and stillnesses that never leaves you and matters what happens out here. You become the bridge between the unmanifested and the manifested, between God and the world. This is the state of connectedness with the source that we call enlightenment. Don't get the impressions of the unmanifested to separate from the manifested. How could it be? It is the life within every form, the inner essence of all that exists. It pervades this world. Let me explain. Dreamless sleep. You take a journey into the unmanifested sleep. Uh, Unmanifested every night when you enter the phase of deep, dreamless sleep. You merge with the source. You draw from its vital energies and sustains you from a while when you return to the manifested, the world of separate form. This energy is much more vital than food. Man does not live by bread alone, but in dreamless sleep, you don't go into the conscious sleep. All the body functions are still operating. You no longer exist in the state. Can you imagine that it would be like to go into dreamless sleep with full consciousness? It is possible to imagine it, but that state has not content. The unmanifested does not liberate you until you enter the consciously. That's why Jesus did not say the truth will make you free, but rather, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. This is not the conceptual truth. It is the truth of internal life beyond form, which is known directly or not at all. But don't attempt to stay conscious in dreamless sleep. It is highly unlikely that you are succeed. At most, you may remain conscious during this dream phase, but not beyond that. This is called lucid dreaming, which may be interesting and fascinating, but it is not liberating. So use your inner body as the portal through which you enter the unmanifested. And keep the portal open so that you stay connected with the source at all times. It makes no differences as far as the inner body is concerned, whether your physical body is old or young, frail or strong. The inner bodies is timeless. If you are not yet able to feel the inner bodies, use one of the other portals. Although ultimately they are all one. Some I have spoken about them at length already, but I'll mention them again briefly here. Other portals. The now can be seen in the main portal. It is essential aspects of every other portals, including the inner body. You cannot be in your body without being instantly presented in the now. Time and the manifested and its inextricables link as are the timeless now and the unmanifested. When you dissolve psychologically time through instant presence moments awarenesses, you become conscious of the unmanifested, both directly and indirectly. Directly, you feel it as radiance and power of your conscious presence. No conscious, just presence. Indirect. You are aware of the unmanifest in and through the sensory realm. In other words, you feel the God's incense in every creature, every flowers, every stone, and you realize all that is holy. This is why Jesus speaks internally from his instance of Christ, and divinity says in the Gospels of Thomas, "Speak a piece of wood. I am there. Lift a stone up, lift up a stone, and you will find me there."
Another portal into the unmanifested is created through a sensation of thinking. This can start with a very simple thing such as taking one conscious breath or looking into the state of intense alertness at a flower, so that there is no mental commentary running at the same time. There are many ways to create a gap of an incessant stream of thought. This is what meditation is all about. Thought is part of the realm of the manifested. Continuous mind activity keeps you present into the world of form and becomes a opaque screen that prevents you from becoming conscious of the unmanifested, conscious of a formless, timeless God essence in yourself and all things around all creatures. When our intensely present. You do not need to be concerned about the sensation of thinking, of course, because the mind then stops automatically. That's why I said now is an essential aspect of every other portal. Surrender, the letting go of mental emotional resistance to what is, always becomes a portal unto manifestation. The reason for this is simple. Inner resistance cuts you off from other people, from yourself, from the world around you. It strengthens the feeling of separateness on which the ego depends for its survival. The stronger the feeling of separateness, the more you are bound to the manifested and to the world that separates forms. The more you are bound to the world form, the harder, more impenetrable your form identity becomes. The portal is closed when you cut off from the inner dimension, the dimension of depth. In the state of surrender, the form identity softens, becomes more transparent, as if you were manifested, it can shine through you. And it's up to you to open a portal in your life that gives you consciousness, access to the unmanifested. Get in touch with the energy field to the inner body. To be intensely present, identify from the mind, surrender to what is. These are portals that you can use but not need to use one. Surely love must all be of those portals. No, it isn't. As soon as the portals is open to love present in your feeling realization of oneness, love isn't a portal. It's what it comes through the portal into this world. As long as you are completely trapped in the form of your form identity, there can be love. There can be no love when you're trapped in, when you have an identity that doesn't meet who you truly are. Your task is not search for love, but to find a portal which love can enter. Silence. Are there any portals apart from those I've just mentioned? Yes, there are. The unmanifested is not separate from the manifested. It pervades this world, but it is not well disguised that almost everybody misses it completely. If you know where to look, you'll find it everywhere. A portal opens up every moment. Do you hear that dog barking in the distance? Do you? Or the car passing by? Listen carefully. Can you feel the presence of the unmanifested in that? No, you can't. Look for it in the silence, out of which sounds come into the return. Pay more attention to the silence than to the sounds. Pay more attention to the outer silence, creates more inner silence, the mind becomes still. A portal is opening up. Every sound is born out of silence, dies back into silence. During the life it spans surrounded by silence. Silence enables the sound to be. It is intrinsic but unmanifested part of every sound, every musical note, every song, every word. The unmanifested is present in this world as silence. That is why it's been nothing in this world but we so let God is silence. As you have to is pay attention to it, even if during the conversation becomes conscious of the gaps between words. The brief silent intervals between sentences. As you do that, the dimension of stillness grows within you. You cannot pay attention to silence without simultaneously becoming still within. Silence without stillness within, you have entered the unmanifested.
Space. Just as no sounds can exist without silence, nothing can exist without non-being, without the empty space that enables to be. Every physical object or body has become out of nothing. It is surrendered by nothing, and will eventually returns to nothing. Not only that, but even inside every physical body, there is a far more nothing than something. Physicists, psychics tell us the solidities of matters of the illusions. When similarly solid matters, including the physical body, is nearly 100% empty space, so vast are the distance between the atoms compared to their size. What is more, even inside every atom, there is mostly empty spaces. When it left is more likely to vibrational frequencies than particles of solid matters, more likely to visible notes. Buddhists have known from that for over 2,500 years. Forms of emptinesses. Emptinesses is form. States of heart sutras. One of the best known ancient Buddhist texts is the essence of all things is emptiness. The unmanifested is not only present in this world as silence, it also pervades the entire physical universe as space. From within and without, this is just as easy to mask as silent. Every pays attention to the things in space, but who pays attention to space itself? You seems to be implying that emptiness or nothing is not just nothing. That is, there is something mysterious quality to it. What is this nothing? You cannot ask such a question. Your mind is trying to make nothing into something. This moment you make it into something, you have missed it. nothing space to the appearances of unmanifested and as an externalized phenomena, so the sense perceived world. That's about as much as one can say about it. And even that it is kind of a paradox. It cannot become the objects of knowledge. You can do a PhD on nothing. When scientists study space, they usually make it into something that thereby missed essence entirely. Not sure piercingly, the latest theories is the space of the empties of at all. This is the failed with some substance. Once you have the theory, it is not too hard to find evidences to substantiate it. At least until some other theory comes along. Nothing can only becomes a portal into the unmanifested for you if you don't try to grasp or understand it. Isn't that what we are doing here? Not at all. I'm giving you the pointers to show how you can bring a dimensions to the unmanifested into your life. When you are not trying to understand it, there is nothing to understand. Space has no extent. To exist literally means to stand out. You cannot understand space because it doesn't stand out. Although it itself, it has no extenses. It enables everything else to exist. Silence has no existence either, nor does the unmanifested. So what happens if you withdraw intentions from the object space and becomes awareness of space itself? That is what is the instant of this room? The furniture's pictures of and so on are in the room, but there are not the room. The floor, walls, and ceilings defines the boundaries of the rooms, but they are not the room either. So that is the instance of the room. Space, of course, empty space. There are be no room without it. Since space is nothing, we can say that what is not there is more important than what is there. So become aware of the space that is all around you. Don't think about it. Feel it, as if it were paying attention to nothing.
I had to wait 6 months to get my hands on this.
It's getting hula.
Here is why the inner equivalent to objects in space is such furniture, walls, and so much on your mind, objects, thoughts, emotions, and objects of the senses. And the inner equivalent is space, is the conscious that enables your mind, objects to be, just as be spaces follows all things to be. So that you can withdraw your attention from things, object, and space, you automatically withdraw your attention from your mind, objects as well. In other words, you cannot think of your and be aware of the space or the silence for what matters. By becoming aware of your empty space around you, you simultaneously become aware of the space of no mind, of pure consciousness, the unmanifested. This is how contemplation of space can become a portal for you. Space and silence of two aspects, same thing, the more no nothing. They are externalization of inner space and inner silence, while stillness, the infinitely created the womb of all existence. Most humans are completely unconscious of the dimension. There is no inner space and stillness. They can get out of balance. In other words, they know the world, or think they do, but they think they don't know God. They identify exclusively with their own physical and psychological form, unconscious of essence, and because every form is highly unstable, they live in fear. This fear causes deep misinterpretation of themselves and other humans, a distortion in the vision of the world. If the cosmic convolution brought about the world, the end of the world, the unmanifested would remain totally unaffected by this. A course of the miracles expressed it truly poignantly Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies in the peace of God. If you remain in the conscious connection with the unmanifested, your value, love, and deeply respect the unmanifested, manifested of every life form in its expression of the one beyond form. You could also know that every form is destined to dissolve again. Ultimately, nothing out here matters all that such. You have overcome the world. In the words of Jesus and the Buddha, have crossed over to the other shore. Okay, everyone, we'll continue part 2 of this video. We'll continue in a little bit. We'll see you back later. Okay, bye.